Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Yeah.
Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in a bag of a can. I can make it around the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn world. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. The popcorn world.
You're now listening to BLEAV in the ACC. You're now listening to BLEAV in the ACC with Heisman Trophy winner and Florida State legend, Mr. Charlie Ward, Wave 3 TV, and Fern Creek Hall of Famer, Kendrick Haskins, and Mr. Talking Noise himself, and of course, Mama Noise's man, Lloyd Smith. And now, it's time for BLEAV in the ACC.
Well, this morning, our thoughts and prayers are with the people of the East Coast and more specifically Florida area, because as we understand it, they are being hit with their annual, it appears,
right,
hurricane or tropical storm weather, and this one is classified as a Category 4. Which is not good. When you start to move up to the 4s and the 5s, you're in a bad situation.
Yeah, so prayers for everybody down in Florida, down in the Panhandle, and going up into Georgia, and of course for our partner in crime, Charlie Ward, down in Tallahassee,
who may or may not make it to today's show.
Right,
we'll see. We don't know.
We're waiting with bated breath.
We're waiting with hope and bated breath. So there you go. I don't know why our breath must be bated in this situation. I've never understood.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know where that came from, but it is something you do. So there you go. But in the meantime, and I'm a little disappointed mainly because I was going to give him a nice, fair, and honest, humble flex because I saw the Vic documentary. Looks like my brother may have spilled something. So we're going to press in here for a second and I'll talk to you guys. I saw the Vic documentary on the history. I think it was called The History of Black Quarterbacks, and it was fantastic. And in episode 2, it featured none other than our brother Charlie Ward.
You can't do a documentary on black quarterbacks without Charlie Ward.
You cannot. And shout out to Michael Vick for making that abundantly clear that Charlie was the guy. You know, people really underestimate, and history doesn't always tell the story. To me, there were 2 quarterbacks that, when you look back in the history of college football and just the history of football itself with black quarterbacks, there are 2 quarterbacks that don't get mentioned enough. One is Charlie Ward, and the other is Tommy Frazier.
Tommy Frazier was a monster.
Tommy Frazier was a monster. And
ask Florida.
Right. And if you go back and look at what they did for the game and how they elevated the position of the black quarterback, it is undeniable what their impact was.
And not just black quarterbacks, but running quarterbacks in general. I mean,
running quarterbacks in general. I don't know if you see the documentary, but there's a part where Steve Young talked about the black quarterback, and he said, "Oh, I found my tribe." So
right.
It just changed everything. Like, they just changed everything. So anyway, it's on Amazon Prime. You get a chance to take a look at it, please do so. I feel like we should just do this just because, not in a negative way, but just in a positive way, just for Charlie and just if he'd be here, he'd appreciate it.
And that was a Charlie Ward humble flex.
This is a good one though. This is not a bad one. This is a good one. None of them are bad, really. It's just
I tell you what, Hurricane Helene is hitting down in Florida, but I think she just hit up here in my office.
Oh no! Oh no!
If you all watch it on video, you see me desperately scrambling to clear water.
We see you scrambling a little bit, just a little bit.
I got water.
And what's really cool is I'm trying to act like I don't see it. And I'm gonna keep it going and keep it.
Yeah, you're keeping it. You keeping it pushing like
nothing to see here. Please keep your eyes.
Sometimes the obvious is so funny.
It is. That's why we love visual podcasts because it makes it so much better when you can see everything.
And I'm hoping that the water does not kill my computer that I'm on.
There you go. So we got two things that are challenging us this morning. It's gonna be fun.
However, I do need a new computer, so hopefully this will inspire Wave to give me a new one.
There you go. Well, there you go. Okay. So listen, what I love about Kendrick is he's a glass half empty guy, or is it half full? Which one is the positive one?
Well, half full is a positive one, but
so he's a glass half full guy.
Right now, my glass is completely empty because it's
right, even though his current glass is empty. So he's, he still believes that there's a silver lining here. So there you go. All right, we're gonna jump into the games. We're gonna jump right into the games. Friday, we had kind of a shocker in that Stanford and Syracuse.
I say it's a shocker just because Syracuse is world beaters at home.
Right. That was what the shocker was. They normally don't lose at home
they don't lose at home in September.
They don't lose at home in September, and they ended up losing this one on a game-winning field goal by Stanford.
Even though the Lamar Jackson leap was in September that year.
Say that again?
Said the Lamar Jackson leap was in September that year. So
There you go. There you go. But I think one thing they can say safely, they found their quarterback. Kyle McCord is the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's putting up insane numbers. He had some challenges in this game through a couple of picks, but for the most part, I think the kid is a solid. He's the answer that they've been missing at that position. So at least they don't have to worry about that. But they got to figure out the other things. They can't give up 173 yards rushing and 178 yards passing and fumble the ball once and throw 2 interceptions.
Well, if they only giving up 178 yards passing, you're doing a pretty good job. But I think that number is so low is because they gave up so much on the ground.
They gave up a lot on the ground. Yeah. So but listen, a lot is relative because the other game that was interesting this weekend was this one.
That might be the most interesting game in the ACC this week.
I'll be honest with you. We are prone to miss every now and then. We're never prone to miss this badly.
Well, you can never anticipate a team giving up 70 points at home.
No,
anybody.
Let
alone James Madison. We did say this was going to be a tough game for Carolina.
We did say that. We said this could be a tough game. I don't think we thought it would be a rout. This was shocking. You're like,
how you score 50 points and lose by 20?
I got to be honest with you. Usually, you don't lose when you score 50. 50 is usually a safe number to lock in a win. But not.
What's even crazy is I think they held James Madison to 17 in the second half. I think they had 53 at halftime, didn't they?
Let's see. In the second half, yes, they held him to 17. But that's after giving up 53 in the first half. Yes. Here's the numbers.
I'm laughing at you.
Here's the numbers. Really, this is the whole story, and I can't even give Jacoby Criswell that much credit because he threw for 475 yards and 3 touchdowns. But that ain't even the story. And it ain't his fault.
For that when you down that much, because you have to throw.
You have to throw. Here's the story. Alonzo Barnett III and he put the third, so I'm going to give him credit for the third. 388 yards passing, 5 touchdowns that he threw for, and 99 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns that he ran for. So he single-handedly accounted for 487 yards by himself and 7 touchdowns.
I don't even think Lamar did that.
No. Alonzo Barnett, if he can keep these numbers there, he'll be in the Heisman race.
He will not keep those up.
He will not keep those up. But the biggest number is the total yards that they gave up was in the 600s. That's, you can't win a game normally.
And the thing is
600 plus yards.
North Carolina's defense has been a problem for a while. Since, God bless Mac Brown, but since he came back, their defense has been atrocious at times, like Saturday. And it has been the weak link for those teams, because those Drake May teams, they should have done more, but you couldn't have faith in them because their defense was always so bad. So I don't know what's going on, if they're not recruiting defense, or if they're, you have to put some kind of emphasis on defense at some point. You're not going to just outscore everybody.
You're not.
As obvious as that became obvious on Saturday. You're not going to score 71. So they've got to figure out the defensive side of the ball. It's been going on there for a while now.
Well, ring the alarm, because they have already started calling for Mac's job, which he had to come out and say, I'm not retiring, guys. I'm going to stay, minimum through the end of the season. But
I expect him to stay through the season. What difference is going to get rid of him during the season going to make?
Yeah, I don't think he should retire.
I do think this might be the last year, though. How old is Mac Brown? He's got to be nearly 80, right?
He's old. He's got to be in the top 5 of oldest coaches in.
He's one of those dudes that's been old all of our lives.
Yes. Oh, 100%. No question about it.
Like him and Morgan Freeman, they've been old as long as we've been alive. So
Morgan Freeman has felt old all my life. Solid comparison by you just now.
Even on the electric company, he was old.
Yeah, he felt old then. He's an old guy. Clemson also drubbed North Carolina State to make us say, North Carolina State's probably not as good as we thought.
But Klubnik, he balled out.
He did. He put up 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm not sure. I don't think he played the fourth quarter, or he had a solid game. I still don't see it, but I can't take away what he did.
The speed that he showed on that first touchdown was impressive, and he took that read option straight up he took that read option straight up the gut and was gone. Nobody was going to catch him. Yeah, I said, you're obviously not the biggest Klubnik fan. I'm not
necessarily that. It's just
Giant fan, but I do think he is a pretty good quarterback, and I think Clemson. I think Clemson is still going to be there at the end of the season for the ACC championship. They're going to be
that's a different conversation, because I think you may be right, because that defense seems to be pretty good. Even though they gave up 35 to North Carolina State, I think they're probably decent. They seem like they're solid.
Yeah, that was an empty 35. That was right up there with North Carolina's quarterback throwing for 400 yards.
Exactly. So he had a good day. Virginia drubbed Coastal Carolina. No surprises here. The game that everybody thought would be interesting was interesting. Georgia Tech and U of L. Listen, there's no mystery to how Georgia Tech is planning to win the game. Haynes King is going to try to do a lot of things and wear you down, and they're going to hope that works. And it appears they don't have much past Haynes King.
Right, it's going to work in a lot of games, though, as long as they can keep him upright. had the bad fumble, and then Louisville got that blocked field goal return for a touchdown. So when you give up 14 points, not on the offense didn't score 14 points. And that's the difference. I mean, literally is the difference in the game. Is those
Can
14
we give
points.
a shout out to Louisville's special teams this year, who is right now far and away the best unit they have? Like was this the third block punt in as many games?
Yeah, they. I know they had one in the Austin P game. I can't remember if they did in the Jacksonville State game.
I think they've had 3. If I'm not mistaken, they've had 3 block punts in as many games.
Or block field goals, yeah.
Most people don't do 3 in a season.
Right. and shout out to the kid, I can't think of his name, to block the field goal and recover it and score. That was impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it did bounce up right in front of him, but I mean, to have the wherewithal, because you blocked it, because you can even see in his face, he blocked it and he kind of like was looking around and he just happened to turn around and see the ball and scoop and score it. And then I think it was Ja'Cory Brooks that had the touchdown on the pass interference call, which I was at the game, so I was in the press box and I saw the referee throws the flag for the pass interference. He gave up on the play like everybody else did. Then all of a sudden he catches the ball and he's running down the field and the referee's not even looking. It's the referee on the other side of the field that called the touchdown.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. That was one of the more shocking plays of Saturday because, one of the more shocking plays of Saturday. And I had to give that kid credit. I think you're right. It was Ja'Cory Brooks, if I'm not mistaken. And I gave up on the play. When he threw the flag, I was like, oh, he didn't catch it. And then he kept running. I'm like, wait a minute. He caught that? Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That was
a hell of a play.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a play.
The defense played well. They gave up a lot of rushing yards to Haynes King.
58, not horrible, but
the big question for Louisville right now is their own rushing offense, because they only had I think 53 yards rushing for the game.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
And so they need to figure that out as I try some more water off.
Not a problem. I think that finding the balanced attack this weekend is going to be critical, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. But you're 100% correct. But Tyler was solid. I mean, 13 of 19, 269. Still has not, to my knowledge, thrown an interception, which means he's making really good decisions. And he's protecting the ball. He's not fumbling. He's doing all the things you need your quarterback to do. So Louisville off to a really good start this season. Very, very good. I think
out of all the transfer quarterbacks, him and Cam Ward are arguably the 2 best so far.
So far in the ACC, I think they're playing the best, most efficient football. Though Cam Ward is right now otherworldly, but yeah, they're playing the most efficient ball. Rutgers gets the upset against Virginia Tech, which I don't even know if you can call it an upset at this point, because Rutgers seems to be pretty good. Like, they're playing some really solid football.
And Virginia Tech, you never know what you're going to get week to week, and it's been
they
like
are
that
for
a while now.
At this point. Yeah, they are definitely
like that it's been like that really since Beamer left. They cannot find consistency with that football team.
Well, one of the places they can't find consistency is the quarterback position. Kyron Jones, not the greatest day, 13 of 27, 137 yards and a pick. He can't seem to, and that may not be all his fault. It may be
they've got some line issues.
Yeah, offensive line issues or whatever. It usually is when you're going 13 or 27. That means you probably don't have time to throw it or make good reads or anything like that. So, and now they did run the ball well. Bayshul Tootin ran for 122 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He almost kind of single-handedly kept them in the game. But they're just the passing.
They become one-dimensional. If you could take away the run game, you can take away Virginia Tech.
Yeah. In my lifetime, I don't remember a Pitt team putting up 70 points. Maybe they have.
I mean, maybe during the Dan Marino years, they had to, right?
Huh?
Maybe during Dan Marino, they had to.
They would have had to. I gotta believe, but I just don't remember that they have. Like this was this was probably one of the other more shocking scores of the weekend. Like, really? Pitt did it? Even though it's Youngstown State and you expect Pitt to drub Youngstown State.
But 73 is 73. I don't care who you playing.
Exactly. Well, and then here's the other thing, guys. We live in a world now where Pitt is 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
They are 4-0.
And
so
they are flying under the radar. They're just now starting to talk about Louisville. You know, Louisville's been ranked since the second week of the season.
Right. Eli Holston seems to be for real. Like he's efficient. 16 to 24, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. They got the great production.
Charlie's a big fan of this.
Huh?
Charlie likes Holston a lot.
I got a chance to kind of watch a little bit this weekend. I like him too. I think he's got some solid. He does solid things, and he's consistent. Like he and Shock kind of remind me of each other because they're not going to beat themselves, which is what you want maybe more than anything. The starting line or the floor is don't beat yourself as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Don't do things to make it hard for yourself.
Don't turn the ball over. Yeah,
right. Don't turn the ball over. Don't fumble. Make good reads. That kind of thing. Live to fight another day, that kind of stuff. So he did all the and he rushed for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he was accounted for 5 touchdowns by himself. So had a good day. Shout out to Pitt. I mean, we may be looking at a solid fall for Pitt sports, volleyball and football.
Volleyball is balling.
Volleyball is balling. Duke took care of Middle Tennessee. 45-17, though I don't know if anybody was, shocked or impressed by the victory. But what we can say is Duke is 4-0 going into their rivalry weekend this weekend. So Miami took care of South Florida.
That's an impressive win.
Yeah, I actually thought this one was going to be a little bit closer, and it started out kind of tight in the first half. And then the second half was just Miami was like, okay, we're gonna stop playing around with y'all because y'all might leave here thinking that you can actually beat us and you can't.
South Florida plays good against Alabama, but that's about it.
Yeah, and Cam Ward is right now the 2 leading candidates for Heisman have to be Cam Ward and Travis Hunter. Cam Ward is putting up insane numbers: 404 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, the only thing that's hurting Cam Ward is that he refuses to play defense. So he's behind in that regard.
And what's hurting him is their schedule.
And his schedule. He's not,
they haven't played anybody.
They haven't played
anybody.
They're
back, though. Just listen to the radio. They're back.
Again. Well, yeah, we'll see. Again, we'll see. We will see. Boston College got a big win against Michigan State, big bounce back win against Michigan State. They took care of business at home. I think Boston College is going to be formidable all season long. I think they're going to do what they do. Here's what I love the most about Boston College. Thomas Castellanos is not going to be the reason why they lose. He's not going to put up crazy numbers, 10 or 16, 140 yards. He's Kevin James on Hitch. This is his dance here. He ain't moving from that area. If it ain't there, he ain't throwing it. But when it's time to make the plays he's supposed to make, he makes them. And he's playing some solid ball. So they're gonna be tough. They
gotta keep him healthy.
The defense is also solid.
Yeah, but they gotta keep Castellanos healthy.
They gotta keep him healthy and keep him upright for sure.
Yeah. And he runs a lot, so that scares you when he meet because he is the keep him healthy.
Yeah. And then another shocker. The score was shocking. SMU put up 66, but I thought TCU was better than this, and apparently that's not the case.
TCU had their run at the national championship a couple of years ago, and they haven't been the same since.
Right, they look like TCU now, solidly like TCU.
I had to hear a lot of cuss words was in the sports office after that.
Is that right? Is there a solid TCU fan there?
Well, Dusty, my coworker, is a TCU grad.
Oh, I know Dusty's a TCU fan.
And so I had great joy in laughing at Dusty cursing at SMU.
Honestly, I'm more frustrated really that Charlie's tuition dollars are not producing better results. That's what
I'm sure Charlie agrees.
TCU is not cheap, ladies and gentlemen. So what are we talking about right now? And then
you can only do so much from the
right. Exactly. And then the other thing that happened this weekend, at this point, we have to just say this. And this is where it may be good that Charlie's not here to hear this. Florida State's not good.
Offensively, they're not.
They're not
Defensively,
good.
They're okay.
Defensively, I think they're fine. But the problem is you can't stay on the field 45 to 50 minutes of a game. They're just not.
Also true.
Yeah. Offensively, they are just not efficient at all.
They're so inept on offense. It's amazing to see a Florida State team this bad on offense.
They had the ball 30 minutes, and they put up 177 yards passing and 107 yards rushing.
They're not watchable. Their offense is not watchable. The defense is box office. I'll give them that. But that
defense is good, but the offense is
you can't watch that. You can't watch it.
And they got pieces that they brought back. So I don't know. It was rough.
They lost a lot on the offensive line, though.
Yeah.
So they are replacing a lot on that. But yeah, it's unwatchable.
Yeah. And then I believe games. We'll go through those quickly. Tennessee seems to be the real thing. It appears that they are the real thing.
They're pretty good at football. They're pretty good at football, I think.
Yeah. I don't think the score even indicates how much of a drubbing it was.
It doesn't.
No, yeah.
They dominated that game.
And then the other thing is Michigan finally decided to play the right quarterback.
Shout out to Lee Corso. Lee Corso called that in the first block of game day on Saturday. He said Michigan was going to beat USC, and he was right.
Handily. But they made the final. I was watching the guy they had this weekend. I'm like, why hasn't he been playing since day one? He is clearly better than the other guy.
I didn't get to see that much of the game because I was at the Louisville game at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got up on USC early. USC made a big comeback, but yeah, Michigan dominated most of that game.
Yeah, so it was a good game. But and then of course our pro games were Eagles Saints, which was a fantastic
defensive
end to the game. The rest of the game was like, "Ooh, this is."
The rest of the game was thank God for red zone.
Yeah, if you don't like defense, it's not the game for you because this was all defense. The Eagles have some challenges. They have some challenges.
Your boy Saquon though came through big for him.
Oh, Saquon! Listen, shout out to Saquon and my fantasy team. That he's been phenomenal so far.
He shows Danny Jones
thoroughly. The only reason I lost this weekend because my team now on fantasy is pretty consistent, but Juan Jennings went ridiculous this weekend and put up a number that I was just like, okay, well,
my team's consistently bad.
My team's pretty solid this year. I'm pretty happy with it. And then I hate to do this to you, but
no, you don't.
Yeah, I do actually. Because here's what's interesting for me about the Cowboys. I genuinely like some of the Cowboys players. Like I love Michael Parsons. I think he's amazing. Although he has not done anything this season, like other than fuss on the side.
He went off in that Cleveland game.
Well, everybody goes off in the Cleveland game. We had 8 sacks in the Cleveland game this past weekend. So apparently you're gonna be able to patch that in the Cleveland against the Cleveland Browns if you have a defense. It was just a weird game. Like I don't know. I don't know why the Cowboys can't stop the run, but they can't stop the run. Tonight will be the night.
They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball.
Right. So they have all kinds of run problems.
Yes.
But tonight will be the night they fix all of that. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. This will be a get right game.
I do feel confident, even though your boy Neighbors is a superstar.
No, he's a man. He's a man.
He is a superstar. That guy is unbelievable. And so,
now I have to ask you this before we get into our picks. I have to ask you this: if by some fathomable reason we win this game tonight is everybody officially on alert in Dallas. For sure, Mike McCarthy has to be.
Well, McCarthy was on alert as soon as Bill Belichick became available.
100% agree about that. Right, 100% agree about that. I just think because here's the thing that I thought about this. I know this is NFL, and our ACC fans are like, why are y'all doing this? Because we can. It's a podcast. You love us. Just stick with it.
And we're Cowboys and Giants fans.
We're Cowboys and Giants fans. This is our night. Do you honestly want to pay 5 guys high-end money and lock up the potential to do anything else? Because that's where we're headed.
But if
you still got to pay Trayvon, you still got to pay Micah.
If it were me, I would have let Dak walk. I would not have paid him all that money.
100% agree.
Because yes, Dak is a good quarterback. He puts up good regular season numbers. But you know what Dak is. Dak's not going to show up in those big games.
He put up 349 in this game, but the problem is,
he put up 349. Most of that in the second half after the game was in hand.
It looks good at the end of the game. It's just not real.
Dak is what Dak is. He's a good quarterback. He's Tony Romo 2.0. You're not going to win with Dak. You're not going to win the Super Bowl with Dak. You're not. And so
but you're not going to win with this defense as it's currently constructed, because
if it were me, I would pay CD, I'd pay Micah, I'd pay Diggs, and then
find a trade.
If you look around the league, the teams that are winning are teams with young quarterbacks because of the salary cap, and so outside of Mahomes, Mahomes is the only, and the Chiefs are the only teams winning with a high paid quarterback. Everybody else,
the Ravens are there,
and the Ravens there.
Yeah,
but Lamar just now got his money. Lamar just now got his money.
Yeah, but you're 100% correct.
The 49ers are doing it with their quarterback on a low salary. The Bengals, when they went to the Super Bowl, because Burrow was on this rookie contract.
And by the way, Bengals ain't winning.
Right, he got his money, and look at him.
0-3.
Right, but the Bengals are the Bengals, though.
Well, then there's that.
Yeah, the Bengals are the cheapest organization. This Cincinnati, I feel sorry for Cincinnati fans because they got the 2 cheapest owners in the Bengals and the Reds. They're never going to spend money on anything.
Yes.
No, they're just sitting there collecting checks.
Yeah, they do not like to pay. But
I would restart with Dallas. I wouldn't have given Dak that money, but here we are. And
I wonder how much Trey Lance's preseason performance kind of pushed them into this direction. Because I think if he had been more solid and given them like just a little glimpse of hope, like if Dak screws up, we can put this guy in, then maybe they wouldn't have knee-jerked. I do feel like it was a knee-jerk reaction. Like it was almost like we saw the last preseason game, like, oh my God, he's so bad. We gotta do something. Yeah, but you're here now, so.
And if they were going to go with Dak, and if they were going to go ahead and pay CD, which is fine, I'm fine with them paying CD.
Yeah.
What if you did it earlier when you should have done it? you ain't lying, Jake.
Yeah.
If you paid them earlier, you wouldn't have to pay them as much. That's the other part of it. They mess around and don't go ahead and get the contracts done. They procrastinate and do whatever Dallas is doing and end up paying more. And then he comes out and talking about we couldn't afford Derrick Henry.
I was like, stop. Derrick's, come on, stop. The man makes $8 million. Cut your entire running game and you can afford him. You just found his salary.
Right.
This ain't even hard.
Right. I understand. You know me. I've long since been past the point of being mad about anything they do. You are one of the more balanced. Just like I just know they're gonna do something stupid. Yeah. When they beat Cleveland, I wasn't excited at all because I knew they was gonna do something stupid.
I have the text messages to prove it, people. So he is correct. So with all that being said, Kendrick went 7-5 this weekend.
This was a tough weekend.
This was a tough week for you, brother. Well, and then you leaped out there with that. It was one game you leaped out there on, and you went on your own. Which one was it? It was one that you kind of jumped out there on your own with. And I didn't go with you on you or Charlie on that. I can't remember which one it was. The TCU SMU ended up being a reach too. that didn't work.
We both picked TCU.
You both picked TCU on that one. I picked SMU. I actually went 9-4 this weekend. Charlie went 8-5. The USC one, Michigan one. That was the other one. You didn't get any bonus on that one. So that leads us to a 38-6 for Charlie. Kendrick was 37-7, and I made up a little ground this weekend, 33-10. Just a little, baby steps. You got to crawl back in, So now we are picking this week's game, and we will have to apparently listen. Charlie's got much bigger things to worry about, so we'll get his picks whenever we get them. But right now, we just want Charlie to be safe. He and his family to be safe. But in the meantime, we will do our picks for this week, and we will start with tonight's game or tomorrow's game, Virginia Tech and Miami. I can't imagine this being at home for Miami. I can't imagine Miami's going to drop this one. Miami be in a nice zone, but this is kind of a rivalry game.
And Miami, they may not even have a home field advantage because Miami.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't know if they're even going to play this game. Like maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
Can we report
just
the
an update to everybody? We just got a text from Charlie. He's doing well right now.
Right now, yeah.
Right now, but I think the thing is kind of just getting going. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. So I guess we're both going Miami. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'll still.
But
I can't. Because they're playing too well on offense. Cam Ward's playing too well to let them lose on Friday night. So yeah, I'll go Miami.
So, but we will obviously as a country be keeping our eyes on everything that happens in Florida. They may not.
I think Miami's fine. Florida State's the one because it's further north. I think it missed Miami. It's further north.
It's further north.
Yeah.
You think they're not gonna get anything, like any parts of it?
I don't think they're gonna be affected by it. They may. I mean, they're getting some rain. I'm sure they're getting some
rain. Getting rain and stuff.
Because we're actually by tomorrow. All that stuff's gonna be up here. We're getting all of that tomorrow.
Okay. You know what? So I wonder if. Well, probably not. I was gonna say the Colorado game too. That'll be in Central Florida. Like, how will they be affected?
By Saturday, they'll be fine.
Everybody should be good to go. Okay. The other game, the next game is Western Kentucky and Boston College.
Interesting game. That's an interesting game.
I was set, and then now you're telling me it's going to be interesting.
WKU's offenses. I mean, they put up numbers. WKU.
They do.
They can't stop anybody, but their offensive numbers are as good as anybody's in the country. They put up points.
Well, they're on a 3-game winning streak. What are you doing? I'm now you got me worried.
I'm telling you, that's not going to be a walk in the park for Boston College.
So, okay, where are you going? Now I'm concerned. Stop saying that. Like, you got me nervous. Now I almost feel like I need to pick. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, outside of getting beat 63-0 at Alabama, Western Kentucky's won 31-0, 49-21. They beat Toledo 26-21. And so they are formidable. They can win.
The problem with what you're saying for Boston College is that they are not an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. So to think that Western Kentucky can't, from a points perspective, keep up with them, you'd be crazy.
Since
The only game that they put up points in was against a very weak Duquesne team, but every other game they've played, Boston College has not put up more than 21.
And since they went to Caden Bellcamp, he's Western Kentucky's quarterback. He's for the year, he's 51 of 69 for 651 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
Oh, what am I doing here? I'm about to pick Western Kentucky.
I think I'm still gonna go Boston College just because it's at home, but Western Kentucky
The upset alert has been alarmed.
Yeah, because Elijah Young, the Western Kentucky running back, he's really good. He just hasn't gotten going this year yet, but he is really good. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson, he spells it different.
Right.
He has 336 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns this season.
By the way, fascinating that there's so many kids in America named Keyshawn. Why that name is so popular, I have no idea.
This one is spelled Kisean.
I don't get it. But I think I'm going to go Boston College as well, but I'm not. You have ruined my confidence in this pick.
I'm not confident in this pick.
With sheer logic, you have ruined my confidence in this pick.
Tyson Helton, Western Kentucky's head coach, he's a really good head coach. He will be somewhere else next year, most likely. I thought he would be because they put up numbers. They're an exciting team to watch. So watch out for that.
Northern Illinois is a box of chocolates. You don't know what they're going to get. They've already proven they can get the big win. They are 2-1. They are going to NC State for a noon game, but I am not confident at all in North Carolina State at home. I think I'm going to pick Northern Illinois in this one. I just feel like if they can go to Notre Dame and win, NC State ain't Notre Dame.
Right. But also I'm like, can they do that twice?
I'm going to say yes.
I think I'm going to go ahead and go NC State. I'm not confident in it whatsoever.
Okay, there you go. Syracuse and Holy Cross. It's at home. Surely Syracuse is going to be fine. McCord should have a big day.
Yeah, Syracuse is fine.
They should be all right in this one. Wake Forest and the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. That's your 3:30 game. I gotta believe Wake Forest is gonna bounce back in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Wake Forest on that one.
Yeah, I don't think this is that much. The rivalry game of the weekend is UNC Duke. No confidence in UNC at all. Give me Duke. I don't think they'll put up 70, but
I might put up 40.
It wouldn't shock me if they put up 30 or 40.
Yeah, I'm going Duke with you on that one.
All right. Stanford and Clemson. I'm going to go Clemson, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm Clemson all day on that one.
All right, Clemson.
Clemson's playing well right now.
Clemson's playing well, but Stanford surprised me last week going on the road to get that one. So
Clemson's at home, though. Clemson doesn't really lose at home.
Clemson doesn't lose a lot at home. Listen, to be perfectly honest with you here, I don't think Florida State can go on the road and beat SMU. I'm praying that I'm wrong.
It's wild. It's wild to say there's nothing I've seen from Florida State that makes me think they're going to beat SMU. I don't think they beat SMU at home.
And that's the other thing. SMU is riding high. It's at home. And by the way, I've been to an SMU game in Dallas. They have a phenomenal fan base and stadium.
And they just put up a 60 burger last week.
And they just put up a 60 burger. And they would love to get what they would be kind of a signature win in the ACC for them.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure they're going to have some kind of color scheme, like a white out or a blue out or a red out or whatever.
No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah.
So are you going SMU as well?
Give me SMU all day on that one.
All right. And then, of course, the first true test of the season for the University of Louisville is they are going to Notre Dame, a place that they have fared well in.
That series is 2 games apiece. They've played 4 times and it's 2 games apiece. That's wild.
Yeah, it's Louisville has not had the struggle that I think a lot of people think they would have had with Notre Dame.
The last time they played up there, they should have won, and that was a bad Louisville team, and they should have won that game.
They should have won that game. I'll just say this, and then I'll get out of the way and let you give us your expert analysis. I have seen nothing from Notre Dame to make me think they're going to win this game. Not offensively, anyway. Now the defense is not bad, but offensively, Riley Leonard is no different than what our guy from last year, that
Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman, he presents the exact same problems. Like, I don't know why Notre Dame keeps going to get ACC quarterbacks and then play ACC teams. That seems like a flawed strategy on their part, but they keep doing it, and it has not worked out yet. And I don't think it's going to work out this weekend. I think Louisville will be over-prepared for Riley Leonard. I think he's going to have a horrific day. I also predict that this will be a breakout game for Ashton Gelati, who has had good, solid games so far, but he hadn't had that signature game yet. I think this will be the one, because he teed off on Riley Leonard last year when Duke came. I can't see him doing any less than that in this game. So give me Louisville. I don't think it'll be a rout, but I do think it will be convincing.
In Riley Leonard's defense in that game last year at Louisville, he was injured coming into that game.
He was.
I think that may have been his last game at Duke.
I think it might have been. I think he may be.
It may have been. He may have came back, but he either way, he was hurt the rest of the season regardless.
Yeah.
I'm still with it being Louisville's first road game. I'm a little apprehensive to jump on them. Like I said, they only had 53 yards rushing against Georgia Tech last week, and Notre Dame's defense. I think Notre Dame's defense might be a little bit better than Georgia Tech's defense. They've struggled with running quarterbacks. Haynes King had some big runs, and Jacksonville State's quarterback ran all over Louisville.
Yeah,
and so I'm worried about it on that front. I'm going to give Notre Dame a slight edge because that game is in South Bend.
Ooh.
And because Louisville beat them last year, so they're going to have a little revenge. This game means more in the long run for Notre Dame than it does for Louisville, because Louisville can still get to the playoff. They still have a couple of routes to the playoff.
Yes, this doesn't affect their playoff.
Yeah, where Notre Dame's back is against the wall. If Notre Dame loses this game, they're done.
Yeah.
They still have, even though they lost that Northern Illinois game, they still have a shot to get into the playoff because they're Notre Dame. But if they lose this game, then it's a wrap. And so I'm going to lean Notre Dame. I'm not confident at all, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame with this one, 3-point win.
The only reason why I'm going Louisville is that they need Riley Leonard to do everything. They needed him to do everything this past weekend when they beat Miami of Ohio. Here's the stats. Riley Leonard threw for 16-25 for 154 yards and a touchdown, and then ran for another 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was their entire offense. I don't think you can win if Riley Leonard is your entire offense.
True, especially in a big game. But I do think they're going to find because they're what's their running back's name? He's
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love. I think they're going to lean on him a little bit more than Riley Leonard in this game. And like I said, I could totally see Louisville going in there and winning. I can see Louisville going there and winning by a touchdown or 2.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a rainy day, and they're gonna have to depend on the run game. And Louisville's run game just hasn't been consistent enough for me to pick them to win on a game where they're gonna have to run the ball. So I'm gonna go Notre Dame. I know Cards fans probably not gonna be too happy with me, but I'm gonna go. And we're going up to South Bend. We're making a trip up to South Bend. Are
you excited about that? You like going to South Bend?
I've never been to South Bend, so I am excited.
Oh, okay.
I am excited for that part of it. I'm not excited with getting off work at midnight on Friday and then jumping in the car and driving up to South Bend at 7 o'clock in the morning and then coming back. But other than that,
you got to take a picture for the touchdown Jesus, by the way. You have to do it.
Yeah. I'll look forward to that.
All right. I believe games this week are Arkansas and Texas A&M, which quickly became fascinating when Arkansas righted their ship. Georgia and Alabama is by far the game of the week. Everybody will be watching this one to see what happens in this one. Bills and Ravens is going to be a fascinating Sunday night game because the Bills seem to be good, but they've also played 3 bad teams, so we don't know. And the Ravens have been good, but just had some dumb luck, and they seem to have righted the ship. We'll see.
And they're a horrible fourth quarter team,
they're a horrible fourth quarter team. They are known to give a game back. And then of course
they tried their hardest on Sunday.
They tried. They gave every effort that they possibly could. And then of course our game with our 2 favorite teams, Cowboys and Giants, is tonight.
I kind of feel like the 2 of us are obligated to pick this game.
I felt that way as well. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what.
I have zero confidence in the Cowboys. But the one team that they've had their success against has been the Giants.
They've had our number. They've had our number for quite some time.
I think Malik Neighbors presents a whole batch of different problems for the Cowboys defense, but the Cowboys was beating the Giants when they had Odell Beckham. And so I'm going to go with my Cowboys. They make me sick. I hate them. I hate this cross that I bear, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this game just because past success against the Giants.
Here's what makes this game interesting for me. Logic says the Cowboys have to beat the Giants again. They have to. It's just
you have to throw all logic out the window when the Cowboys are involved.
Well, the problem is they literally can't stop the run
at all.
And here's what's interesting about this game. Of all the things Daniel Jones can do or can't do, the one thing he can do is run the ball. He's actually a decent runner of the ball. And I have a feeling if you're Brian Daboll, that's what you're going to do. You're going to give them a heavy, as much as you can, dose of Daniel Jones and Motor, Devin Singletary. And then that may be the thing that opens up the opportunity for Malik Neighbors. And if they can do that, then they got a shot. Because the defense actually has played pretty well. So now it does concern me that Drew Phillips is out and Adori's out. That does concern me in the secondary, but not as much as if the Giants can get off to a decent start and pin their ears back and play. Because if they can get a lead of some sort, we all know also Cowboys aren't great comeback team. They're not a great comeback team.
Well, they came back on Sunday. So but the thing that gives me a little bit of confidence with the Cowboys is their secondary is great. Their secondary is as good as any secondary in the league. It's the front 7 that's the problem.
Front 7 is a massive problem.
And what annoys me though is every broadcast you hear about how great Michael Parsons is. He's so fast. Oh, he can play corner. He can play safety. I'm like, okay, why not drop him back in coverage sometime instead of just having him rush the quarterback every play?
I've been saying this since he got there, and I've heard no one nationally say this, and I'm gonna keep saying it until somebody hears what I'm saying. The Micah Parsons problem is you don't know what you want him to do, and because you don't know what you want him to do, he is in between doing a lot of things. So
I think they know what they want him to do.
For defenses to decide how to attack him. They're running right at him. They're running right around.
That's the thing. I think they know what they want to do, but what they want him to do is not always conducive to his skill set. Because as good as he is, he's terrible against the run.
But that's my point.
I don't understand why if that's the case, then stand him up and move him back to linebacker. Could have him play in defensive end.
But that's my point. I don't think he's a DN. I think he's a linebacker. If you want him to do multiple things, then put him in the middle of the line of the linebacker core and let him decide what he needs to do. But because you're moving him around the line and then saying, but make good decisions. That's what it feels like they're asking him to do. Like, decide if you need to drop back in coverage if you need to. Set the edge, but also rush the passer, but also look for the run.
They never drop him back in coverage.
Right. But they're asking him to read. And I don't know. But see, I don't know if his reading ability is what he does. I think he's a go get the guy. And I don't know.
I feel like I agree with you. I feel like he is kind of like he's like a Troy Polamalu, where you kind of just and Ed Reed and like Travis Kelce on offense.
He makes plays.
You just let that man make plays. Don't constrict him with your play call.
And I think that's right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Just let that man freelance. Put him back at linebacker and let him freelance.
And you can't read like that from the edge. It's hard to read like that from the edge.
No, you just rushing the quarterback at that point.
Exactly. So
drop him back at linebacker since he's so fast, and let him decide. Give him free reign. Because you hear Peyton Manning talk about Troy Polamalu all the time, and he's like, I never knew what that guy was going to do. Tomlin didn't know what Troy Polamalu was going to do. You just let guys like that, just let them cook. Honey Badger for the Saints, he still, even though he's up there in age, he still kind of does that too. He kind of freelances and kind of does what he does. And like I said, Travis Kelce like that on offense for the Chiefs. You have your play, but you give those guys the ability to make their decision on what they want to do on this play, and you have to trust them. And because they say if I want to see Micah drop back in coverage because we keep hearing about how great he would be in coverage. Okay, let's see it then. Why are we not doing that?
To me, the blueprint for him is somewhere between, and you mentioned Ed Reed, but I think it's somewhere between Troy Polamalu and Ray Lewis. Just let him make decisions. And I think he'll probably make the right one because he seems to be very smart. So just let him make decisions. All right. So before we go, we do have a Charlie Ward sighting.
Hey,
we have a Charlie Ward sighting. So, Charlie, how are you doing? How's the family? How's the area? How's everything going?
Well, so far, so good. We just have some rain. Very little wind, but we're not expected to have any heavy winds until later on this afternoon or evening. So we'll see. We're praying that it dies down so that we don't have as much wind damage. There are some areas that are having this storm surge, water surge. So that's maybe not much of our issue where we are, but we'll probably get a lot of wind. So
I was totally expecting you to be standing outside in your rain jacket, and like holding on to a tree.
Guys, it's a tough one out here.
It's like out on NBC in the Weather Channel. I expected to see you, Charlie.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys and everybody in Florida as you guys go through this. I'm sure this is the time where all Floridians are thinking about moving. It's like, why am I still here?
They're used to it though.
Yeah, you got listen. Hunker down. Hunker down has become a theme in Florida at this point.
Charlie, it feels like everybody outside of Florida worries about hurricanes more than people who are actually in Florida who have to actually deal with the hurricanes.
I mean, it's like there's a way of life, and here in Florida, you're gonna regardless of what part you're in, you're going to have to deal with some weather. But, I think everyone has their weather issues at times.
Absolutely.
Snow, sleet, all those types of things. We don't get much of that here. We just get the hurricanes. So, and tornadoes and these type of storms. So it's part of the ecosystem in our.
Unfortunately, here in Kentucky, we get all of that because we get the remnants of the hurricanes. Because that hurricane is hitting you now is supposed to come up here and hit us tomorrow. And so most of our high school football games have been moved from Friday to tonight. So it's been real fun around here.
We're supposed to get rain. I don't think it's supposed to be like what you guys are getting, but
we're supposed to get it big time on Friday.
Well, Charlie, you'll have to text me your games, and we'll let everybody know how Charlie does.
But you are in the lead.
You are technically in the lead right now. You have a one-game lead.
I was kind of concerned because some of my teams were falling off this weekend. This past week.
Well, the Ravens saved you, although they tried not to. The Ravens saved you this week.
But TCU let us down.
TCU let you down big time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And North Carolina.
Not really sure. I complained for you that I said Charlie Ward expects far more for his tuition dollars than what you get.
And
North Carolina was fantastic on Saturday.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was about.
They're going to definitely get the cautionary treatment
going forward.
Yes.
Well, just to let you know, we've solidly picked Duke this weekend. It wasn't hard to do. I did give you a shout out before. I know we run out of time here. I did give you a solid shout out. Fantastic job in the Vic documentary, my brother. I love the conversation, and I'm sure they only caught like a fraction of the actual conversation that you and Michael had. Just because we know you, and I'm sure you gave him your faith and you gave him everything else. And some of that didn't make the cut, but what did make the cut was really, really good. And I enjoyed the conversation tremendously. It was really, really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it was very fun. I'm glad I was able to be a part of it. I'm still trying to figure out, like, most of the people we talk to are NFL guys, but I happen to be one of his college heroes, so I guess It
was a very important documentary. I encourage everybody, especially if you love football as a whole, go watch this because it was some of the more poignant comments. First of all, I learned some things that I didn't even know, but some of the even more poignant comments came from some of our white brethren like Steve Young and Josh Allen. They talked about how much the black quarterback influenced them. That was really refreshing. I was like, that was a good, smart take on Vic to put that in there, to add that depth of thought. Especially, I was really encouraged by what Steve Young said. He was like, I found my tribe. That was really cool. So I enjoyed it tremendously. My wife watched the whole thing as well. She enjoyed it tremendously. So we were very proud of you, Charlie Ward. And we humble flex you today with joy. It wasn't even like a negative.
It wasn't a humble flex. It was a
joyous, rejoicing humble flex. It was. So
what is that? All jokes aside, though, Charlie, what is that relationship like with Michael Vick? Do y'all have much of a relationship at all? Or
it's not. It's what it is.
Yeah,
it's one of those where we can connect, but we don't go over each other's houses, and we're not like boys. But it's professional, and I'm happy that, like, I'm a big fan of his and the way he played the game and all the things he was able to accomplish. I was just excited to be able to have him on campus. He's a big timer. Yeah. And so I was just grateful that he chose me to be a part of it.
It's interesting, and I know, like I said, I know we got to get out of here, but it seems like he is a massive fan of yours, which might be the reason why you don't have the relationship. Because sometimes you put your heroes on such a high pedestal that while you're grateful to have the relationship, you're like, that's my hero, and I can't hang out with my hero. Like, it's a weird relationship, because in that documentary, he looked doe-eyed. Like, he was like, wow, I'm standing in front of Charlie Ward, which is very cool. Which was very cool to see Michael Vick going, that's Charlie Ward.
Like one of us.
He's like, yeah. So that was very cool. So anyway, I wanted to give the documentary another shout out. That's my shout out for the week, actually. So gentlemen, who are your shout outs for the week?
I just have one. I like to shout out Kayla McBride for helping her team advance to the semifinals of the W championship or tournament, or whatever it is. But she's one of our basketball campers from our days when we were doing basketball camps back in the day. And so we're very proud of her, and there will be some video of her testimony coming out on our YouTube channel at some point. So we're very proud of Kayla McBride and Tina Charles, who was I think she's a rebounding leader. She's another camper of ours when we had our girls camp in New York. So we're very proud of both of them and the accomplishment that they've made.
Wow.
Awesome. I'll give a shout out to the Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame. I had the opportunity to host that again. It's the third straight year I've been able to host that or MC for that.
And that was a humble flex.
No way I'm letting you get away with that.
But shout out to Teddy Bridgewater, Tony Delk, Oscar Combs, and Roy Pickrell, this year's Hall of Famers. It was great to catch up with Tony Delk and Teddy Bridgewater again. Tony Delk and I, we've crossed paths for years, but we've talked, but we've never really had a chance to chop it up. Then we got to talking at the thing, and come to find out we knew a whole lot of the same people. He knew a lot of people I went to Murray with, because Tony's only like a year older than me. So and he's from Brownsville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Memphis. And so we have a lot of our football and basketball team at the time was from that area. So we ended up knowing a lot of people. It's a great event, and just shout out to them. It was good to see Teddy Bridgewater again. It's the first time I've seen him since
Coach
Teddy Bridgewater. It's the first time I've seen him since he left, I think. I may have seen him once or twice since then, but it's good to have him back in town, and it was just a great event overall. So shout out to all of the Hall of Famers this year.
Absolutely. Just real quick, we got a little bit of breaking news. The great Derrick Rose has finally called it a career after 16 seasons. I think earlier this week he was released by the Memphis Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. And so I think Derrick has finally decided that's it for me. I'm headed off in the sunset. I think Derrick will unfortunately go into the category of what if.
The big one.
As it relates to his career, had he not had the injuries that he had, because he started out on fire. Like, it looked like this guy was about to change basketball forever, and then the injuries just got to him, and he just couldn't rebound from a lot of those things.
I hope he stays with the organization, because I think Ja Morant could learn a lot from him.
Listen, 100% agree. I'm a Derrick Rose guy. Really appreciate that guy for what he means on and off the court. But yeah, just a great career, and it'll be interesting to see what he does next, what the second act will be. So this has been fun as always, guys, and we appreciate you very, very much. Again, Charlie, our Cowboys and Giants will play tonight. Obviously, you know who we both picked, although neither one of us are very confident.
Neither one of us like our teams right now.
No, neither one of us are confident. You have a pick in that one.
Oh, the Giants were playing well.
They played fantastic this weekend. They really did. Against the Browns, they played very, very well.
They both have the Browns win in common.
Right, but it's the Browns, and we're finding out very quickly the Browns are not a great measuring stick. So I don't know what to expect tonight, but except that it should be an interesting game. So, do you have a selection on that one, Charlie? Just not that that's your official I believe pick, but that was our official I believe.
think at some point the Cowboys are going to have to find their way. But I just don't know. I don't know if they have the mindset to find their way. Like, they have a lot of things going on. Seems like
something's off.
They worry about the wrong things, it feels like.
Right. Something is really off. And it doesn't – I'm not sure what off is football related.
Where's the game being played?
It's in New York.
I'll go with the Cowboys. They got to rebound at some point.
Well, they've played well. They've owned the rivalry for the past 5 years. So I gotta believe.
But the NFL is so tough to pick.
Yeah.
Especially this year.
There are only a few teams that actually show up and play consistently each week, at least give themselves a chance to win. But you never know. Like, with some of these teams, they play bad for 2 weeks and then they come and have an outbreak.
Right.
Well, listen, the Saints
like
put
the
up
Broncos.
90, the Saints put up 90 points in 2 weeks and then tanked it with 12. So anything is possible.
At home.
At home, right. Anything is possible. Guys, we're going to take a break. We'll come back next week, do it all over again. We appreciate you. Thank you, Charlie, and glad that you and the family are safe. Hope that stays that way. And again, we send our thoughts and prayers to the good people of Florida. Hunker down and get through it, guys. With that being said, Believe in the ACC. We'll be back next week.
You've been listening to Believe in the ACC with Charlie Ward, Lloyd Spence, and Kendrick Haskins. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share from the Noisemakers page on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever podcasts can be heard. And join us